Welcome back to Winning in the Workplace here on Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Gordy Rush along with Maurice Velasquez from Team Real World and our special guest Tom Ashley from Expand Incorporated. Gentlemen, let me go back to the first segment. We talked a little bit about aging in place, and if you would, Tom, when we talk about aging in place renovations, what will that look like? And will we see lots of stainless steel grab bars?
No, Gordy, that's exactly what everybody asks.
Is it going to look like a hospital?
Right. Is it going to look like a hospital? Number one question.
Right.
No, the whole purpose of learning about this process and taking these courses and educating ourselves is to keep the aesthetics of the process to look good. Our motto at Expand is an old Shaker saying. It's don't build something unless it's both necessary and useful. But if it is both necessary and useful, don't hesitate to make it beautiful. And that's
understood.
Pretty much.
That's good.
Now, let me ask you, who benefits from aging in place?
Most people think it's just those who are elderly, but that's not the case. It's for children who have, parents that are elderly at their own home. A young family that has grandma or an aunt, somebody who needs help, that visits their own house. It's also for a parent that has a child with a special need that may need help around the house. And it's for caretakers. Some people taking care of a loved one or somebody that they know. It's for those who are proactive versus reactive. And what I mean by that is those that don't have to react when something happens. Have your house ready and functional, useful and safe before it comes down to you have to make a quick decision, because when you're making a quick decision, they're never right. They're super costly, and you're never happy about what you do. People who are proactive benefit from it a lot more than it's a place they call, to make a place that they can call home, for as long as possible.
Understood. All right, let's get back to, we're talking about alignment of the roles, getting people into the correct seats on the bus, and specifically, let's go back to those disagreements in those rhythm meetings. Mm-hmm. Tom, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best place to have them disagreements. Like Maurice said, was as in the middle, instead of being in the middle of the day hitting each other without warnings and all. Have that meeting set up, get those disagreements out. Vent. It's a chance to vent. And the place to vent's not early in the morning. When you're on a job with a client, it's at that meeting, and plus you can see other team members may pick up on that and say, yeah, we need to do something and come up and all of us solve our own problem.
Yeah, a lot of times people hear what Tom just said and said, yeah, but then, do we have to hold everything until we're meeting? Well, of course not, because the business and the life of the business, it's going to dictate that you pick the phone and call each other about problems. Right. Customer service, customer issues, errors in forms. All of a sudden, this needs to happen. So no, the rhythm meeting does not at all eliminate the need to have to take care of issues on the spot. What we're talking about is those issues that, for example, employee A has been frustrated for the past 3 weeks that employee C is doing, and now on Tuesday at 9 o'clock, I'm upset about it, so I'm going to pick up the phone, and I'm not just going to call employee C about it. I'm going to call manager A, and then I'm going to call my dad, and then I'm going to get folks involved so that by the time 11 o'clock comes around, there's this big disagreement where we should have been able to hold it until Wednesday at 3 o'clock when we meet and not pull everybody off focus from taking care of the client at that moment. It's what we call the rhythm meeting should keep you from broadsiding each other unnecessarily. Customers can broadside us anytime, right? That's what that's what we're there for. But let's not broadside each other about stuff that we're going to talk about. We have a safe place to talk about it at Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Let's have the conversation there. And everybody come ready to talk. Nobody runs away. No one's looking at their watch. Come ready to talk and talk about the tough things. And Tom's team didn't have any problem jumping into the tough things. Whenever we said we're going to have professional debates and professional disagreements, his team took him to task and said, all right,
fine. You got some sword fights.
Oh, yeah. They had some serious sword fights. And all we had to do, and I don't want to minimize it, is just say, okay, guys, we're going to learn how to do this professionally. And it's going to be hard. Everyone's going to feel it because it's called a fight. Okay, but we're going to keep it professional, and we're all going to become better at this. And most importantly, we're actually going to fix things. We're going to improve things. So everybody, roll up your sleeves. Let's talk. And that's what happened.
Did you at any point did you get frustrated, Tom? Feel like just giving up or this isn't working?
For sure. I mean, I think everybody.
What, 3 days ago you told me I did. That's all we're going to do, right?
But the resilience and having help and having somebody outside help you look at things, looking at through what some of these people go through that we work for. My problems seem minuscule, but to me and our teammates, out there, our coworkers and all. We feel like they throw it, but we get to the meetings, we talk about it, we air them out, storming, like Maurice always puts us through, with the storming part.
Expound. So let me stop you there. Expound on storming. What does storming mean to you?
It's where you throw out everything. I mean, every idea that comes out, you're not sure who does what, you're not sure what's happening, whose responsibility for this, who's accountable for this or that.
And you're willing to have big disagreements about it.
Right, and everybody can chime in and until we get until we get into that next stage. And you get there quite every change you go back into that storming routine, and we've learned to adapt to it and use it for to our benefit as opposed to a place where somebody has to win.
Yeah, if I could share a couple of really interesting things that happened with Tom's team, which one of them, Gordy, was that we set up this meeting for the project managers to work better together, and so in our rhythm meeting, it was identified that other meeting had to happen on Tuesdays and Fridays, and they were going well, but they could go better, right? Mm-hmm. And so I joined them, and I in those other Tuesdays and Friday meetings. And about 5 weeks later, I got kicked out of that meeting. Okay, and so it's real interesting that I come to our meeting with Tom, and Tom and his team have decided, Maurice, you know what? You're no longer in that Tuesday and the Friday meeting. I'm going, okay, can we talk about it? Sure. Well, because we got together and we realized that the nature of the Tuesday and Friday meeting is and they outlined it for me.
Sure.
And it says, and we really feel that what we need you to do is stick to the Wednesday meeting, and we need you to have another rhythm meeting with only the executive. It's not easy, but because they were consistently talking and figuring out how is it that we go from growing from this level to this level, we just can't leave it up to chasing each other on the phone or sending emails to each other. Let's really do some serious planning and rolling up our sleeves and figuring this out.
And a lot of the funnest part was working with the disc profile. I mean, we learned how to communicate. It was fun. It was, we all knew when somebody was reacting, and we said, back up. We need to back up. We're cornering that person, or we need to provoke that person.
What about talking about the disc profile, Tom? What about you? What's one thing in that report that came out that just surprised you a little bit?
Let's see. To surprise me,
putting you on the spot here. I mean,
can I remind you?
Yeah.
Can I remind you?
Yeah, you may have to
just memorize everybody in the city's discs. He's got a cheat sheet. Go ahead.
Right.
When Tom and I are talking about it, I said, Tom, you remember your profile that you tend to change what was said on Monday, and you give different instructions by Tuesday. And his comment to me was like, I didn't do that, did I? And I said, well, here we are at Wednesday, and you're just telling me something totally different. And it wasn't that Tom was changing his mind. He's just, as he brainstormed, you know this, Gordy,
right.
Okay? As you brainstorm, you think of a different angle, so that by the time you articulate that, it not only comes out different, it's now a more refined idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Tom's brain is constantly doing that.
Constantly.
Sounds familiar.
Constantly creating. And so, of course, his team is thinking, well, have you finished creating? Can we just execute this?
Yes.
And that's definitely Tom's preferred style.
Fantastic. All right, Maurice, we've got a little bit of time here. Obviously, you've done a great job throughout the city, throughout the state for that matter. If you would,
Thanks, Gordy.
fill me in on some information. Folks want to get in touch with you. There's a lot of different services, and
Sure.
just you
Absolutely.
can give us a little bit more in the vanilla package.
Yeah, visit our website at www.teamrealworld.com, and there you can find our consulting services, our live training, as well as Winning in the Workplace, our online training modules, as well as what's coming up, and it's already been announced on our website, our books that we're publishing. So you can go there and find us, all that information. You can reach me directly at maurice@teamrealworld.com or call us at 225-772-4357.
Sounds good. Name of the show is Winning in the Workplace. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about those storming meetings and this profile. This is Winning in the Workplace on Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP.